This is Stephen. We met before. Stephen, can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Stephen Geiger. I'm from California. I run a foundation called the Mensch International Foundation. I do this in Hungary and the United States and in Europe and in Israel. I have a program in Vienna on Monday. We're giving a Mensch Award to a lady whose husband and her were holding a Hungarian family as prisoners. They were ordered by the Third Reich to do so. And when they were going to take them to Bergen-Belsen, which they did, she got the clothing from her child to give to them so they're not going to be cold. She was a very decent lady. She's no longer alive. And posthumously, we're giving her the Mensch Award in Gerersdorf at the Rathaus. And the mayor of Gerersdorf, Mayor Vojta, has done a very good job in telling the city of Gerersdorf what happened during the war, and they named a street after Mrs. Benedict, who was a prisoner there. I hope people can show up 4 o'clock in Gerersdorf Rathaus.
Can you tell us about your personal story?
Personally, my father was on the death march from Budapest to Mauthausen, and he was a prisoner in Mauthausen until the Americans liberated Mauthausen on May 5th of 1945. I still have the paper when he was liberated by the U.S. Army. Later on, he went back to Hungary, found out that his parents and his sisters were murdered in Auschwitz. Another 40 family members were murdered, which is almost common for the Hungarian Jewish families. And then later in 1956, we escaped from the communist regime after the revolution, came through Austria, and then went to the United States. My father was in the Technische Hochschule in Vienna. 1922. Just 100 years ago, he started university because Hungary at that time had a numerus clausus, and he was not allowed to study in Hungary.
What are your personal feelings today here in Ebensee?
Look, there's a new generation of people. I'm glad that young people are finding out about this. And unfortunately, you have anti-Semitism even today in different parts of the world, even in the United States. And it's very hard to understand that people, after knowing what happened during World War II, that they could harbor such feelings. But they do. People are people. And unfortunately, what goes on in the world, especially what goes on in the Ukraine right now, is outrageous, what the Russians are doing. And we should help the Ukrainian refugees as much as possible. I myself was a refugee, and I was helped in Austria. When I was on the streetcar in Vienna as an 8-year-old, a lady put some money into my pocket. And she got off the streetcar, the Straßenbahn in Vienna fast, so I would not be able to thank her. My mother cried, seeing what happened. So there's a decency that people have naturally, but then sometimes you have governments, for whatever reason, they tell people to hate, which is wrong. And I hope it doesn't happen again, not in Austria, not in Europe, never in America, never anywhere. People should really respect each other for the kind of human beings they are. They should be Menschlichkeits.
Thank you. Can you just tell your website, please?
Website is www.menschfoundation, M-E-N-S-C-H, foundation.org.
Stephen, thank you so much.
Thank you. Danke vielmals.